morning. Welcome to Village in Motion. Today is Wednesday, March 18th, 2020, a beautiful sunny day. And I have to give you an update on the swimming pool. Today they're actually lowering in some of the equipment that's going to be there. So things are moving right along. But first this morning, we're going to be talking physical therapy. We have Lilly Wainless.
Good morning. From
our outpatient rehab department. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yes, you're looking lovely in a springy purple outfit.
Thank you.
So how long have you been at Green Spring, Lilly?
I have been at Green Spring a little over 10 years.
Wow.
Most of my time has been in Garden Ridge, with a recent transition to outpatient at Hunter's Crossing.
Okay.
Yes.
So is outpatient therapy still open?
Outpatient is open and ready for business. We're open for business.
So if you're scheduled for therapy?
We are taking precautions. What we are doing, if we receive a referral for a new patient, we initially call that patient, ask those questions to make sure that they are
the screening questions like they ask at the front gate.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do you have a fever, a cough? Have you been out of the country? Things like that. If everything checks okay, we schedule you for your first evaluation appointment. And again, upon coming to the department, those same questions are asked again to make sure, because there's a lapse of a day or so between the first phone call and when you come in, to make sure that things still remain okay, and then we are business as usual with some additional precautions. We are cleaning equipment after every use with the provided
with the special
provided
liquids that are being used throughout the campus.
CDC approved,
not just Lysol.
No, the CDC approved antiseptics. We are cleaning all of our equipment, hand washing, of course. We are trying to maintain that 6 feet distance even when we're treating, so we are spread out so that our patients aren't really in close contact with one another. We are following all the guidelines, and so far, so good.
That's all we can do.
People are coming, and they shouldn't be afraid to come.
Yes.
We are doing everything we can to keep everybody safe.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've discovered there are ways you can get around campus without having to put a hand on anything.
That's right.
Use your elbow on the elevators and
and upon coming to the department, we do have the hand sanitizers. There's a bathroom for people to wash their hands. So there is ways to make sure that even if you have touched something along the way, you can clean your hands.
That's good. Hand washing is so important.
Paramount. Number one.
That's the best thing you can do. Don't depend on the hand sanitizers.
Right.
Get in there and scrub for
scrub.
ABC,
seconds. Right?
That's right. Is that another one? I always sing
That's
Happy
what
Birthday
they do,
twice.
the alphabet twice or something like that.
The alphabet song works also.
Yeah.
One of our hosts here said the other day that as she'd been seen her great grandson, and he was going, "Happy birthday to you," happy birthday, instead of going, "Happy birthday," singing it slowly.
Right.
Because 20 seconds can be a long time.
It absolutely is.
How much more can I rub?
It absolutely is a long time.
So let's talk about the fact. Well, first I want to ask a couple of questions about becoming a physical therapist.
Sure.
You had what education is required?
I'm an old physical therapist. So
I'm an old school physical therapist.
I am from New York City originally, so I went to school in New York. I graduated from Hunter College, which is part of the City University, with a degree in physical therapy. And this was in the early 80s. So since then, things have the requirements have increased.
Changed,
So it was a master's. Now it's a doctorate level.
Yeah.
But all us old folk have been kind of grandfathered in.
Grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Right.
So experience kind of balances out
I have a friend
the degrees.
Who, like you, she's my age and even older, old school physical therapist, but she recently had a hip replaced, and she went for therapy twice, and the person doing the therapy said, "Oh, you know what to do."
That's true. Some things don't change.
And just got to set her off, and she's doing fine with it.
Yeah. So I was in New York. I worked for a while at Bellevue Hospital, which is a big trauma center in New York, and loved it, had great experience there, moved to Virginia, started a family, worked in private office for a while, part-time, while my kids were young.
Sure.
And then I worked at the Fairfax, which is a similar continuing care community, for about 9 years, and here I am.
Well, we're glad.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Glad to have you. So now that we're kind of confined to our apartments, what advice would you give us? Should I just sit in a chair?
Absolutely not. And I know we all know this, and it's easy to just do it, but we have to make an effort to keep ourselves active, to keep ourselves busy. So I know there are a lot of residents out there who have seen therapy either at Hunter's Crossing or in Garden Ridge, and I know each therapist has given them exercises, general exercises to do. Would be a good idea to pull out those sheets and maybe...
I know where mine are too. They're right there on the bottom of the coffee table.
Pull out those sheets and maybe do, general exercises, arms and legs, walking. As far as I know, we're allowed still to walk in the hall. So as long as you're not touching anybody or getting in too close proximity.
And at any one time, there's not
passing,
a lot of people in any
That's
hallway.
right. Maybe make it a point to take a nice walk in the halls or outside. Outside is
get some fresh air.
Very good. And just make sure when you're outside, that you're wearing shoes that are comfortable and that have good good treads, good tracking, sunscreen, protect yourself from the sun.
That's a good point, yes.
Or a hat.
I think it's supposed to be up to 81 later this week. So
stay hydrated, make sure that you're hydrated before you go out. And definitely don't limit yourself to staying in the apartment and just sitting.
Because I know I don't have to sit very long before I get up, and one hip hurts and both knees hurt.
And that's very typical.
Why did I sit so long?
Of with arthritis, and I know from personal experience, I can't sit for too long without, and if I do, I get very stiff. So I need to get up and keep moving in order not to let that stiffness set in.
Even set a little timer. And because it's so easy when we can't go out to meetings and the normal things that we
just
do.
Kind of
get involved
wrapped
in a book,
up in a good book,
or get involved in a TV show or something on your computer or whatever, and it's like
before you know
hours have passed.
Exactly. So that is a good idea. To set a timer, make a point of every every half hour, every hour, get up, do something.
I was talking to a friend the other day. He had done a piece a few months ago here on the Sears and Roebuck catalog, and somebody had given him a 1939, 1940 catalog.
Wow.
It's a beautiful, he just loaned it to me, and he says, be careful. He said, the first time I got this, I sat down to look at it, and I got up 4 hours later.
You get wrapped up.
And we can do that.
So there are ways to stay active. The weather has been very cooperative. And
one of the ways to keep moving is to watch channel 1960, because starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, we have exercise programs.
That's right.
And they're not like Jane Fonda.
They're
aerobics, but they're slow moving and really good for our muscles.
For our population. Absolutely. And they do the job. They get the job done.
That's right.
Absolutely.
If I would watch them and do them, I'd probably be better off. But they are there for us.
Absolutely. Good point.
Good deal. So one thing I want to ask you about, and that is furniture. I've been in several apartments where I sit down on somebody's furniture, and it seems like it's about this far off the ground because they bought it a long time ago and they just brought it here with them. And that can't be healthy for us.
Well, you're right. And I think the older we get, the more difficult it is to get up from very low surfaces. So if that is the case with the furniture that someone does have, I mean, there are options. I know
it's all right to buy new furniture.
It's absolutely all right. But if you're very, some people are very, they just don't want to get rid of their old. They're attached. There's either sentimental reasons, or they have a lot of memories. But they can reupholster perhaps, or maybe just get cushions, but a nice dense cushion.
Dense foam.
A foam, a dense foam, nothing that'll just give too easily, but something that'll provide support, that'll raise you, and it'll make it easier. And if you are going to go out and buy something new, a new chair, to really make sure that it's something that has armrests.
Yes, like these chairs here.
Because it's much better for one to push up, and it's safer.
Oh yes, because you have that support as you're getting up. And now I forget what I was going
And
to say.
less stress on your joints because you're using
that's a good point.
a whole lot of extremities to get you
Well,
up as opposed to just your legs.
Getting up off the couch was harder than getting up with the chair in front of my computer because I have it set very high. So you want to, and if you're going to buy new furniture, make sure that you go try it out. Don't send your son or daughter, say, oh, my daughter got me a new chair.
Right.
And then you don't want to say, well, it's not comfortable.
And it's purchased with a lot of love, but they're not the one sitting in the chair. You're right.
To get out and try it out.
If you get stuck in a chair or a sofa or something that's very low and hard to get out of, certain things that you can do to make it a little easier is to scoot your bottom to the very edge.
To the front.
To the very edge of the sofa or chair.
And then you can at least push on the edge.
To push, lean forward and push up, and that'll help you some.
And if that happens to you, that's kind of a red flag that
this is not a good sitting surface. Right.
And the other piece of it is beds. I told you that I had a friend here who recently replaced a bed, and I asked her how long she had had that bed, and she said since 1955. And I told her, I think it's all right to replace it. And again, with beds, you want to go out and lie on the beds.
Try them, absolutely.
Yes.
These days, I know the style, the fashion is to have very high beds.
Yes, unfortunately.
And that's really hard for a lot of people. Yes. And I know people who have, in addition to their high beds, and have purchased like stools, stepping stools, and that poses a whole other area of danger. And fall risk.
Yes.
So it is important that you try the bed and make sure that you can get in and out of it.
At the height it's going to be. We have an antique bed that is high on its own. And you're right, the last time we bought a mattress, it was like climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah.
So you really want to try them and make sure you can get in and out.
That's right. And if you're short, as a lot of us are, it is.
You're height challenged.
It is. It's a struggle to get up on those high beds.
Well, thank you for the good advice.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us this morning.
My
Lily.
pleasure.
So nice to meet you.
And I hope everyone stays active and stays safe.
That's great advice.
And healthy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.